So, what if your identity isn't some fixed, unchangeable statue you're stuck with? What if it's more like a piece of architecture, something you can actually design, reinforce, and rebuild from the ground up? Well, today, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to explore the blueprints for becoming the architect of your own self. So, let's get into it. But before we start building, we've got to ask a really fundamental question. Just take a second and think about your life right now. All the decisions, the path you're on, the direction you're headed. Who is actually at the wheel?
You know, for a lot of us, if we're being really honest, the answer is kinda fuzzy. And that leads us to this big problem, passivity. It's that subtle, creeping feeling that you're just along for the ride, sitting in the passenger seat while life, or maybe other people, are the ones doing all the driving.
The source material we're looking at actually gives this a name. It's called the M persona. Now, this isn't who you are. It's more like a mode of operating. And it's all defined by this one core feeling. Others make things out about me. It feels like decisions, opinions, even your own future. It's all happening to you, not by you. It's a classic case of feeling like you've got no control.
And look, this isn't just some small thing. This passivity has a massive ripple effect. Living in that M state, well, it comes at a really high cost. It slowly chips away at your sense of autonomy and your self-worth. It starves you of the ability to validate yourself. Your personal growth just flatlines. It can even create unhealthy dynamics in your relationships, build up all this resentment, and ultimately, it can steer you down a life path that feels totally unfulfilling because, well, it was never really yours in the first place.
But here's the most important part of all this. This passive identity, it is not a personal failing. It is not who you are. As this fantastic quote from our source puts it was a strategy, a kind of survival program that you developed based on your past. It was a part of you that helped you navigate something, but it is not the total you. And you know what? Any program can be updated.
So if that old identity is just an outdated piece of software, how do we go about installing a new one? Well, that brings us to the whole big idea here, the architecture of the self. We have to stop seeing our identity as this fixed thing and start seeing it as a structure that we can consciously, deliberately design. This, right here, is the most powerful mindset shift you can make. You are not the finished building. You're not the wall that needs fixing. You are the architect. You're the one holding the blueprints, overseeing the construction, and making the final calls. Your identity, that's just the project you're working on. Now, of course, every good architect needs a set of tools. We're not talking about hammers and nails here. We're talking about really powerful concepts and frameworks that let us deconstruct the old self and start building the new one. So let's open up the toolbox and look at 3 essential instruments for this job. Okay, first up, Neuro-Linguistic Programming, or NLP. Think of this as the very foundation of your new building. NLP gives you the practical tools to actually get in there and, well, reprogram the code. We're talking about your internal dialogue, those automatic behaviors you have, and the core beliefs that make up the very structure of who you think you are. Next, we have a concept from Curzi called the interface. This is like the user interface, the UI, of your identity. It's the conscious filter you use to see the world and, more importantly, to choose how you react to it. When you master your interface, you can literally switch your internal state. You can go from feeling uncertain to feeling confident, from passive to active, whenever you choose. You control the filter. And our third tool is the COHERENT Nexus from Nick van den IJssel. This is your command center. Its whole job is to get rid of that internal conflict by aligning all the different parts of you, your thoughts, your emotions, your body, your spirit, so they're all working together as one team. When your nexus is coherent, you feel stable, powerful, and deeply authentic. Okay, so we've got the architect mindset, we've got the tools, now we just need the blueprint. And luckily, there's a really practical 5-step process for redesigning your identity from the ground up. And here it is. This is our roadmap. First, you audit the current design. Just take a clear, judgment-free look at what's actually there. Second, you make a conscious decision to demolish that old, outdated program. Third, you design the new architecture. Fourth, you create a real, tangible construction plan. And finally, number 5, you persevere. Because let's be real, this kind of fundamental change takes time and courage. So this is where that demolition and design really happens. You literally map out the old program's code, like that belief, my opinion is less valuable, and then you write the new code for your blueprint, my authentic insights are valuable. You start shifting from just passively reacting to stress to consciously choosing your response. You stop waiting around for other people to validate you, and you start practicing it internally for yourself.
So how do you make this new design actually stick? Well, we use this really powerful concept called Dilts logical levels. And the magic here is starting at the very top. See, instead of trying to force a new behavior, you change your identity first. The moment you decide, I am the architect, that new identity basically forces all your other levels, your values, your skills, your behaviors, to line up with it. Change just flows downhill. It's so much easier.
And your construction plan? It's all about concrete, daily actions. So you can use an NLP technique called future pace, where you mentally rehearse being this new version of yourself. Or you can do an interface switch. When one of those old triggers for passivity pops up, you consciously choose a new response. And you can use your body as an anchor. Stand up tall, breathe deeply, and physically embody your new coherent state. All right, theory is great, but real transformation only happens through action. So let's get super practical. What is one simple, powerful thing you can do, right now, today, to lay the very first brick in your new foundation?
It all comes down to this number, 3, as in 3 seconds.
This is the 3-second rule. It's simple. The moment you notice that M persona starting to kick in, that feeling of waiting or hesitating or letting someone else decide for you, you've got 3 seconds. Within that little window, you just have to take a simple physical or verbal action. Stand up, type the first sentence of that email, say the thing you're thinking. It almost doesn't matter what it is. And this is why it is so incredibly powerful. The goal of that 3-second action is not to be perfect. It's not about getting a specific result. The goal is to provide undeniable proof to your own internal system that you can take charge. Every single time you do it, you are validating your new identity as the architect. You are literally rewiring your own brain in real time. So, as we wrap this up, the blueprint is now in your hands. The tools are on your belt. The only question left is this one. What is the first brick you're going to lay today?